Wow, that's gonna freak a few viewers out. I wanted to hop on and make this quick video because I had an experience today which was different for me okay, for example, I have taken classes before. Obviously, you guys know I've been through various levels of school. And this was the first time that I guess you could say I took a class in something where I had no foundations at all. I've never taken any kind of an art class. And so today I actually went with my mother to take what is one of a 3-part series art class, at least as far as I understand. That being set aside, it was, I figured, around art, and it was primarily around art. It took a little left to Kentucky as well. However, for me, that was my area of interest, so I was all about it. That being set aside, what I wanted to share in this really quick video is how beneficial it is from time to time. I don't know if it matters the frequency. However, throw it in your schedule from time to time, here and there, just go do it, is to do something new that you haven't done before. Because I had a couple of realizations, which one, a new experience encourages you to be more open and less judgmental of yourself, because it encourages you to remember that in doing new things, we are all brand new, meaning we have no initial skills. So everyone was once at that point in their development of their skills started from zero. So the first reminder at some point in everyone's development, let's say you go to learn a new language. When you start, you're a beginner, you have no skills. So everyone at some point along their journey, unless, for example, in the case of language, you were born into the language, everyone starts from zero. So in this example, the beginner was me. And it's a loving reminder when you do something new. For example, in this case, take an art class when you have never done that before. It's an invitation to relax and go easy on yourself, because with very, very few exceptions, if at all, everyone who ever did something for the first time wasn't very good at it the first time. That's just a fact. In fact, I imagine I can't think of any specific examples in this moment. However, I imagine that if you look out in nature, well, actually, I can think of one. Birds flying, sometimes when they are going to fly out of the nest, once they've hatched and they've grown to a point, they all have to leave the nest. They all get to leave the nest. At any rate, when they do, not all of them have, let's say, an equal level of skills at flying. Therefore, unfortunately, some of them make it, some of them don't. And obviously something like art isn't so serious. However, the point of this video is to encourage you to go out and experience new things. Because here's perhaps the bigger point of it. Sitting there and being, thankfully, very present and able to take in all of what I was experiencing, I noticed a few things. One, I noticed my own monkey mind wanting to judge over and over my creation, which I kept kind of swinging the badminton racket, I meant to say, and still I was aware of it. So there was this inclination to judge. There was, if I could let it go for those some moments, there was a real freedom of being there and being somewhat encouraged by, wow, from my observation, what looked like people who had been painting for years. And I say that because I did ask this one woman at the end of the class, I was like, by the way, how long have you been actually painting? Because she said she was new to it. And I ask, and she says a few years. And I'm like, that's not a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of one's life. So that's pretty new. And I was astounded. And I was like, well, just FYI, that's amazingly beautiful. And here's the second point. I also observed that it brought up comparison within me. So judgment and comparison. Shadows to heal within myself. A new experience gives you a chance to be uncomfortable in a safe way, to practice the art. I don't know if I want to call it that myself, to practice being uncomfortable in somewhat of a safer environment than, let's say, if you took a really big risk with your life. This is still a risk in the sense that it will likely make you feel, in some form or fashion, uncomfortable because, again, we like to have our comforts and we like to rest in the skills that we know that we have. If you're looking for an instant change of perspective or to add some spice to your day or your life, that really sounds dramatic, but I'm quite serious. then I invite you to try a completely new experience. Sign up for a course in something you never thought you would take, but you are interested in. Take a class that, for example, in a skill you want to develop that you don't yet have. Do something out of your pattern even can sometimes bring a shift of perspective. So if you're looking to shift your perspective literally almost instantaneously, then I invite you to endeavor upon something new that you haven't done before. If you know anyone that would benefit from hearing this message, please do share it with them. Subscribe, as that really helps me out as a content creator to get the messages out there to those folks who need to hear them. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful spirit soul, need any support or coaching, please don't hesitate to reach out at this email address, where it would be my pleasure to serve you in whatever way I can. Have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day or night, and I will see you, gorgeous cats, in the next video. Namaste and much love. Stay healthy. Bye. Matt, well, everyone who ever did something for the first time wasn't very good at it the first time. So in this example, the beginner was me. They all get to leave the nest. What I was struggling to articulate there was that I know I guess that remains to somewhat be seen. Sure. In our wildest, maybe.